It's loading. Okay. All right, we're ready.
Okay. We'll call the meeting into order at 7:05. And first we need to approve last meeting's minutes. Does anyone have any discussion regarding those minutes?
No, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? None? All right. Motion approved. All right, and then we don't have anyone from no citizens comments, no guests, including Friends of Patchogue Forest. So we'll move on to the farmers market. Is that right?
I have a report, Mark.
Oh, okay. A report in regards to the farmers market or correspondence?
I had some correspondence.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So Tracy, why don't you go first, and then I'll share what I have.
Okay. I just have an invitation from CCM to take part in their CCM Cares Communities Advancing Racial Equity Series. The one for this area, it's the, well, I don't know which one we'd actually belong in, but there's the South, probably, oh, Eastern Connecticut. There's an Eastern Connecticut Racial Forum, and it is Wednesday, October 28th from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it's just to go over, what did it say? CCM invites you to its virtual CCM Cares Community Advancing Racial Equality Series. These forums will take that crucial first step to starting the conversation, and they're 90 minutes. So if anyone's interested in going, I can send the email along to everyone. And then there's a Connecticut Land Use Systems Forum. Please see the attached flyer about the upcoming online forum and discussion on October 29th that NECOG is sponsoring. I gotta let him in, hold on. I think I'm going to this one, but if anyone else wants to go.
What is that again, Tracy?
This one is, yeah, it's, hold on, I gotta find it again. I just let Alan. This one is Connecticut Land Use System Forum. It's to NECOG is sponsoring on desegregate Connecticut's proposed zoning reform and their goals and objectives to address economic, environmental, and racial disparities. So that is on.
Go ahead. When is that?
This one is Thursday, October 29th from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I won't be able to go to either of those, unfortunately.
I think this one I'll probably be going to.
I suggest that you might mention that to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Yeah, I think they all got the email too. It was sent to the first selectman, the EDCs, and the zoning committees. So.
Yeah, they should definitely go to that. And if you're going to you could cover it for us, then that'd be great.
Okay.
If it was during the day, I would go to it, but at
right.
nighttime, I get too tired now.
Yep. That's all I have.
Okay, I attended an ECAR, that's Eastern Connecticut Real Estate Association, virtual meeting today. And this was put on just for general information. The main person that they had as a speaker was the mayor of Ledyard, which is Fred Allen Jr. III, who is also a member of ECAR. He's a realtor as well. And I thought it would be important to listen in on that, to see how Ledyard is doing and what his comments are in the days of the COVID and the economic impact. And I'll just touch on some of the items that he commented on. He said what they're doing is they're having their town hall open in the mornings to the general population, and this is in regards to what they anticipate the tremendous amount of mailed-in ballots. So they were going to open the town hall to the public in the morning, and then from 2 to closing, they would close the town hall to the public so that the town clerk and helpers can sort through the ballots that come in. So just throw that out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the economic impact that he sees, because they have the Foxwoods there, and he's saying that it doesn't look very good. The level of activity that he goes through there, he says once a week or something like that. And he said that the Tangiers group, which is all of the shops in there,
Mm-hmm.
it has got most of that's closed, and he doesn't see that the patronage of the Foxwoods itself, and hence all those shops, is falling way off, and he thinks that those layoffs are going to stay that way, and it's going to be continued. Then he went into with his projection that he said that the Foxwoods and the Mohegan Sun have been in the past sending to the state by their agreement somewhere in the neighborhood of $250 million a year. He says if the state gets a third of that, we'll be lucky. And of course, what that means in turn for Voluntown is that and he's saying not only that, but also due to the expenditures that the state's made and the lack of income, he says, get ready,
Mm-hmm.
towns. We're going to get a substantial decrease in the state aid. He also mentioned that his town uses the WebEx platform instead of Zoom to do their meetings. So if that's of any interest. And then I brought up, well, what are we going to do then to what's the town's going to do to mitigate some of the loss of state revenue? And so we got into the concept of regionalization again. And he said the COGS are kind of like leading that, but not really. And then CCM, he was disappointed they're not really doing anything to address that. And then the big thing is going to be, as he spelled it out, we know very well, that the cost of the schools, running the schools, is 70% typically of our budget. And that's where we're going to really have to cut somehow or other. But that's of course coming up, and it doesn't sound very good. He also said that the state, you probably noticed already, Tracy, is asking now for people to be drought monitors and the COVID responsible coordinators. I suppose that you're going to assume all those duties, Tracy, rather than hire somebody. But they're looking at have to hire people. So, and then he's mentioned that years ago, we used to have county governments, which would help there. So anyway, let's see. And basically, he mentioned that there is the folks in the e-car office mentioned that there is a National Realtors Association grant, $1,500 to $5,000 per year for any new projects which are related to parks and paths. So that might be another thing that we could dip into. So I could follow up on that to see if we could get some grant money for our trails. That's as much as I have. That's it.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, and I'd be interested in that grant
Okay.
for the parks and trails.
Let me follow up on that then and get that information over to you, Mark. Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's interesting regarding Foxwoods. All right.
Not to be the comic relief, but how much was that job paying to monitor people who were washing their cars during a drought and turn them in? The drought? Really? Wow.
The drought monitor, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can couple that with the COVID monitor.
The COVID
too.
enforcer, that's the fun one.
Yeah.
I'll be a state employee and do it for the bigger cities, right? That's all I'm saying. That money for the town, you know?
They just keep putting more and more on the towns to do. It's just
yeah. Okay. So what's next? All right. Any other correspondence?
nope.
All right. Farmers market. So we wrapped up our last farmers market this previous weekend. I'd say overall the market season was pretty successful. I don't know if you had the chance yet, Jack, to do any tallies or whatnot, but I think roughly we averaged like 150 people in market.
I think that's about it. And no, I haven't had it, but I will.
Yeah.
I will get for our next meeting. I will have a tally on that for you.
Okay, that's fine. But that is down from last year, but that's to be expected with COVID. And we didn't have really any issues with face masks. Everyone was compliant with that. And I think the vendors appreciated it. So overall it was successful, I'd say. Hopefully next year we we don't have to worry about so many guidelines and whatnot. Hopefully we can have musicians again. The only thing outstanding with the market that I can think of is just a survey.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We're actually we're in the process of hiring someone at the town hall that will be able to do all of the social media stuff too. So that would make things move along faster.
Yeah, that would be great.
So sorry.
All right. And yeah, I mean, it's not too big of a deal. As long as we can get to it. Do you think we can get to it like in a week?
I'm hoping to be able to get it done this weekend. I was going to try and get it done today, but that didn't happen. So
Okay.
it should be up and going by the end of the weekend if all goes according to plan.
Okay. I just don't want it to be, in people's.
And it'll definitely be going out in the November because the next newsletter goes out November 1st. So it'll definitely be done before then.
Okay. All right. That should work. And as long as we get a handful of good responses, that should be fine. Yeah. All right. That's all I have for the farmers market. Does anyone else have anything?
Yes, I do, Mark. I want to. I have to apologize. At the last meeting, I should have had a better presentation of the budget, but I do now, and I wanted our discussion in regards to the grant which you wrote and the amount of money that we wanted to spend in relationship to the Eagle Eye.
Yep.
At $1,500. I looked at our budget that was approved by the selectmen, and the line item for the farmers market, $59,890, was approved for $2,955. And that included having the storage van for us and some other things, but we didn't spend that. And not storage van and the big expense, of course, was for the bands, for the music.
Yep.
Those two items, but we didn't have that. We didn't, so there's $2,000 of unspent money that I see that we could use to take from that account and use it for the $1,500 for Eagle Eye.
Okay. Yeah. So I do see. So I'm looking at both. I'm looking at the revised one. So the 1014 revised one. Which, so is that all expenses for the farmers market?
Yeah, the money that is that we typically spend in the spring is, and we have budgeted for out of that $2,900 is money for signs and banners and advertising, promoting our market. Okay.
Yep.
So there would be about $600 for that. All that stuff still left. So if and we only spent $432, and that 432 has the current amount, which is 352, plus another $80, which I know is going to come from that for the last month of our porta john there. So you take the $432 and add another say $600. That's $1,000. So we still have $1,955, almost $2,000 again, as unspent money.
Okay.
We don't spend any more money than that, typically, until we throw the new budget in and starts in July 1st.
Yep.
And that would include all of the expenditures
For the upcoming.
approved by the selectmen in the spring for the 2021 year. So all of our major expenditures come in the 2021 year because that's when we have the van and the music and all of that. So
Okay. Okay, so that's great. I'm looking at the expenses. I don't see the expenses for the lawn signs. I don't see.
That's all free, buddy.
Oh, it's for. Oh,
I took care of you. That's what I do for the company.
Oh, all right, Al.
I'm glad this is recorded. You notice how we're a positive cash flow and we have volunteers, right?
Yeah, I mean, so the fact that we only spent $352.44 on the market, I think we might be the most efficient market on the face of
In the
this earth.
Connecticut. So I'm thinking we're very competitive against the
That's
EDC of Hartford. So I think we're doing great.
that's I would agree with that. That's pretty impressive. All right, so so thank you, Jack, for explaining that. We do have, even without the grant, we do have enough money to pay for Eagle Eye to do the photography and the videography. So with that said, should we or can we vote to just give Eagle Eye the go-ahead to do that project for us?
Maybe I came in late. What was the project they were going to do? Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give a brief, summary of the project. So this goes back to the grant that Jack, I believe Jack presented last meeting. Basically, it's Eastern Connecticut Tourism District is doing matching grants for essentially tourism campaigns.
Oh, that's right.
They're
Okay, I
like-
remember this. So this is the matching.
They're 2
Gotcha. I
to
gotcha.
1. It's a
Gotcha.
2 to
Okay.
1. So
I
Yeah,
remember
well,
now.
our
Gotcha.
tier is a 2 to 1
Yeah.
that we want to stay in. So yeah, basically we want to work with Eagle Eye, which is a local company, a local Voluntown company, to do professional photography and videography, just to, as I said in the grant application, to capture the natural beauty and serenity of Voluntown. So I did give him a list, and I think I distributed it to everyone, of sites that I'd like him to target. Some of them are specific buildings in Voluntown, such as Town Hall. I asked him to take a picture of the school. Obviously, we'll get that cleared before he starts taking those pictures. I think I asked to do the Methodist church, a couple other churches throughout town, in addition to obviously Patchogue State Forest, Constitution Field. So yeah, basically he's willing to do that. He gave us a quote to do that project for $1,500. That would include, I think he said, a minimum he would take. Let me see if I can pull up the exact wording. He said, so at a minimum, each location will have 5 to 10 still pictures from varying altitudes, as well as ground photographs. So at a minimum, each location, which I think I gave him like something like 15 different locations, he'll take at least 5 to 10 photos. So he'll do that, and then he'll obviously package it all up, do the editing that's needed, and then also provide us a 1-minute clip, like a promotional video of just a collage of all of the different locations. It's just, yeah, like I said, a promotional video of Voluntown and Patchogue State Forest.
Yeah, sounds
now,
great.
was this all going to be done like now, or were they going to be spaced out over the seasons?
Ideally now, but that's a good point. I think I like what you're, or maybe you weren't getting at this, but so ideally now, because fall is, naturally, a great time to take all those pictures. I do have a bit of a concern of having a whole portfolio of fall pictures.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice if he could do some spring and summer, even a couple winter. I didn't talk to him about that. I can. I was just thinking the sooner we can get the pictures, the better.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Mark. Mark,
Okay.
I think you're right. This is a promotion for tourism.
Yeah.
And of course, the best time of the year is, and we're into it now. I mean, if you wait until the spring, now the 6 months is gone, and I think we should do that. I have another. You mentioned 18 point, but you didn't mention anything about you did say about Patchogue Forest, and I would hope that he would take pictures of Beach Pond. The boat launch.
Yes. Yeah, I believe I mentioned that as well. So, yeah, let me see if I can quickly find the list of locations just to make sure that I'm not way off.
I didn't see that list.
Okay. Here, let me.
The Mount Misery certainly is one of them, and the
The statue, like all around
yeah,
there.
yep,
Yep.
and the rhododendron sanctuary, and I know I'm pretty sure he's got the Mount Misery already in his catalog of pictures already.
Yeah, he might already have a bunch of pictures ready to go. Yeah. Okay. So, did anyone see the list? I'm pretty sure I sent it. Yeah. What's that?
From the different seasons, so he can take stuff now, but from his library, he
Yeah.
probably has Beyond in the summer and Mount Misery and different. You can ask him about that too.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I know he's taking pictures of the school.
Okay.
When we remember when we had the dedication of the walkway that went down to the Constitution Field.
Yep.
He took a picture of all of us with the eagle eye. Remember that?
Okay.
We waved, Casey. Oh, anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So I have the list. I'll just run through it really quick, and then stop me if you have a question. So I have Town Hall, Library, and the mural in front of Town Hall, Valentine Baptist Church, Constitution Field, Pavilion, and the field, Valentine Elementary School, St. Thomas Parish Church, just a view of Main Street from either direction, Town Grill and Pizza, Wiley Schoolhouse, Beach Pond, Finn Beach, CT Boat Launch, Rhode Island Boat Launch, like of Beach Pond, Beachdale Pond, Petrol campsites, just a couple pictures of that. View from the top of Mount Misery, Frog Hollow Horse Camp, Kinney Road. Off of Kinney Road, the walking loop from there, the Myron Kinney Brook, Wickaboxet Marsh, that's off of Shetucket, Great Meadowbrook Pond, that's also off of Shetucket, Pendleton Hill Road, Gallup Farm Field. So just that whole large open field. He can also get some good aerial photos. And then Green Falls, so around the campground, over by the dam, the footbridge, over Green Falls River. There's a couple rock outcrops along Green Falls, and then there's a spot over by it's right next to the Rhode Island CT border. I think a lot of people refer to it as the dinosaur caves, but so that area, there's like a marsh, like a beautiful spot, marshy spot. So I was hoping if he can get out there, there would be some really great fall foliage pictures. So that's the list that I sent him. I also told him, he's a lifelong Valentine resident, so I said feel free to, pick any other spots and add if he knows of any. So
let me throw out a question to everybody. Would it be prudent also to take aerial photos of our commercial campgrounds here?
I'm not opposed to that.
That would give those campgrounds aerial photos and real big advertisement.
Yeah.
And would also give potential people the thought that there's a place for them to come to camp and stay during the summertime here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking that too. But if you do the campgrounds, you're gonna have to add like the Tamarack and stuff too, because we should probably do all businesses
True.
and not just a couple. So
I know. Yeah. So that's the thing. I was a little worried about like doing all businesses versus, I don't know, some businesses. I just wanted to do Town Pizza because they've done such a great job with, renovating their front. That's and it's right on Main Street. So I'll talk to them about that and see if that changes anything. I'm not opposed to it, especially the campgrounds, like you said, a couple aerial pictures and Tamarack, I guess.
I think Bronson should be included in there too.
Okay.
Yeah. If we do one business, we'd have to include all of them, just,
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I think.
Yeah. But then you got the farms as well. The Logito
Yeah. So
farms.
okay. So
Yeah.
now we're having a bit of a snowball effect.
Yeah. Because the
and
farms are big too, so
I do want to support the businesses, but two things. Like, one, is it our responsibility to, get these tourism photos of these businesses? And two, we have to keep in mind, I'm willing to draw the line for some businesses, such as Town Pizza, Tamarack, and the camping sites, but potentially not including places like Bronson's or the farms, only because they're not really attracting tourism. This is meant to be specifically for tourism.
Good point. Yep.
So I don't think a hardware store would be attracting tourism.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
Okay.
If you're in a local campground, you would go to a hardware store if you needed something for your camper.
I get that, but also we as, a town or EDC probably won't be putting up on Facebook, like, I mean, I guess we could, but again, like, it's a stretch, like, hey, don't forget to stop at Bronson's Hardware for,
No, I do have to say that I know that the alpaca farm has been trying really hard to do agricultural tourism there.
Yeah.
They weren't able to be open this year because of the COVID. They were open by appointment only, but they are a tourist attraction.
Yeah. Okay. So I would
do-
agree. Yeah. So, okay. All right. Now we're back to the snowballing. So,
So that's where we have to watch out, because we can't, as the
Exactly.
EDC, we can't, I mean, I can understand like having the camera go down Main Street and catch like what's on Main Street, but I don't think we can't just single out individual businesses unless we do all of them. That's just what I'm thinking, because I don't.
And I'm okay with that because
unless they want to put money in towards it, which they could, and then we could make sure that their areas.
Okay.
If they want, we could offer, if they wanted to put in money towards it, then we could make sure that they're on it.
Yeah.
And just get the basics now. If we wanted to do that.
Here's my suggestion, Tracy, everybody.
Yep.
Let's just stick with what our original thoughts were. Then see what happens when it comes out and we can show it to everybody. And maybe the next time we do this, we can say, now this is what you can see, or you can participate in, because in order to get them to spend their money, they have to know what they're spending their money for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And then one other factor that we need to consider is time. So reaching out to all of these businesses to inquire whether or not they want to participate.
That could be for next year, because I believe this grant is going to be something that is going to be back next year.
Okay.
We haven't really figured out how it's going to work yet, but and it's not going to be as much money as a total package of the grant. But it is something that could be there next year too. And if we wanted to do that as an application for next year, open it up to doing the businesses, that would be it. But like you said, I think the whole time of it right now is not really there.
Yeah. Okay. So
I believe you were quoting the time it would take to talk to each business, right? Is that the time you're talking about?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because
you guys can do-
essentially
Sorry.
we
The
we
grant
need
has
Ryan
to
to
be
go
spent.
out. Yeah, we need Ryan to go out ASAP. Ideally, last week would have been
Yeah.
ideal,
Right.
because I think last week was probably peak. So, okay, with that said, the only business that I mentioned on that list was Town Grill and Pizza. So we can nix them, uh, and we just won't include any businesses in this particular one. But next year we'll have the businesses in mind, and we can reach out to them to see if they want to be included.
Because then they
because-
can be included in the grant match too. If they put money in, that gives more money.
Yep.
So I make a motion. I make a motion to move ahead with that for Eagle Eye for the $1,500.
I'll second it.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? All right. Hearing none. Motion approved. All right. Cool. Next. EDC website, volantown.biz. Tracy, are there any updates?
Nope.
Okay. Business development / planning and zoning. There's no one in particularly assigned to that, but any updates from anyone?
They haven't had a meeting.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
We
Then-
have our meeting, Mark.
Yeah,
right?
except for the stuff that
Oh,
you guys had.
True.
And I gotta, I haven't had a chance to, and I keep meaning to, but to email Juliet about getting all of your research and stuff. So I can post it and share it, because you guys did a lot of work in that, and I would like to put it out there.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, oh geez, that was when was I? Did we meet in October, Jack? For the
Yes. Yeah.
No, your meeting's like next week.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
This coming Monday, Mark.
It's Monday.
All right. I was like, it feels like a month ago.
I know. I only know because I just talked to Judith about it today.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's right. And I saw the
Gonna
email
be
that she sent out.
It's going to
Okay.
be in the town hall too.
Yes. Yep. Yep. I did see that. Do we have any updates in regards to that? I'm trying to remember.
No, it's just going to be, the agenda for that is just going to be review what we've done, what we said so far.
Yeah.
And then any kind of feedback from planning and zoning for their attendance.
Okay. All right. Next. Eastern Connecticut tourism. We kind of touched upon that, but Tracy, do you have any other updates?
No, we haven't. No.
Do you
Just-
know when when you'll be meeting again? Because you said that you had to vote on, or you'll be excluded.
Well, we did, we're like, we have our executive committee meetings at the beginning of the month, and we have our board meetings like at the end of the month. So we haven't even gone through, the executive committee hasn't even gone through the grant that went through in the middle of the month. So
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's going to go straight to the board meeting or if it goes to the executive committee first. I'm not really sure how the order of it goes, because I'm not on the marketing committee, and the marketing committee is the one that everything originates at.
Yeah, yeah, they did approve it, so we're past phase one or
Yeah.
step one. I guess it's worth noting, because we haven't talked about it. The second half of, or the second part of the grant, is partnering with Friends of Patchogue Forest. They want to hire a a social media manager or like a web manager to, promote all things Patchogue Forest, any activities that they're doing, just all positive promotion. So they're hoping to obviously gain, attention that way. But then I think they're also trying to gain memberships and volunteers. So they were, willing to go in and contribute essentially equal portion to the grant as what we are contributing. And I forget the exact number, but I think it's around 1,900 for that part-time social media manager. So that's the other half of the grant that was included in the application. So all right, that's it for Eastern Connecticut tourism. Trail maps, Jack, do you have any updates with that?
I've been, in my little exploits into the Patchogue State Forest, I've been putting the trail maps on some of the bulletin boards there.
Okay.
And we did talk to Sharon,
Yep.
who said they're going to put more of the of their see-through plastic containers, which they have fastened to those bulletin boards, up so that we could put more of our maps in there. And over this past weekend, in going through and putting their maps there and then driving around Mount Misery, for instance, there was a lot of people out there, and I could see people had the maps in their hands already, and they were looking at the maps and walking on the trails, and so I felt really good about that.
Awesome.
And then I have some more maps in the back of my car that I have to drop off to a couple of the hotels in North Stonington, and then down to there's the one outpost. It's like the gas station over there by Foxwoods, and then I was supposed to drop a couple hundred of the maps over to the Twin Trees, or 2 trees in, but when I went down there, it was closed. So the rest of the maps, I'm going to make that trip shortly, because they need to get out there now one more time to drop off another 25 to each one of those guys. The rest of the maps, Mark, on Monday, this Monday, I was going to give them to you. Or to you, Tracy, or Al, if you guys got distribution points that you think that would be appropriate. The only comment I have further on that is, if you're going to make a distribution, we have to know where it is and how many maps, so that we give that to James Dodd, and he uses that in his advertisement for next year to show the participants who pay him money for putting their ad on these maps. So you can show them where all these maps are going and where their advertisement will be distributed.
Okay. Yeah. I last year I distributed a couple over in Richmond and West Greenwich. So West Greenwich, Rhode Island. So
your new job, you could get it at the Ocean House, right? Too.
Potentially. I don't think they're the kind of place that has those. They don't have those types of things displayed.
All right.
I'll inquire, but I can't promise. The sporting shop over in Richmond, at the preserve, I might be able to put them out, but at a place like the Ocean House, they likely wouldn't allow that. But I'll ask. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Last year I dropped it off at I'm not gonna think of the place. It's right in Richmond. It's at no, I'm not gonna think of it. I don't know. All right. Historical updates.
They're still looking to paint the house, schoolhouse, Wiley Schoolhouse.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to pick a date and get it done before it gets cold.
Yeah. Yeah, aren't they? They're looking for volunteers. Is that what I
Yeah.
last heard?
I don't think we have all the supplies. They were donated last year. We have the paint, the brushes, everything except for ladders. We got donated. So we just need to get out there and do it. We didn't get it. It just seemed like COVID hit like at the beginning when we couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And now that everything's loosening up more for now, who knows?
Yeah.
We can at least get people out there spaced apart and painting with masks on. So
Yeah. All right.
wait, it's gonna be like the same bright. It's people are gonna have to not share tools.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you need to borrow some ladders, I've got some ladders
All right.
I can lend.
We probably can't remember what the temperature was for paint, like before it gets too cold at night.
Mm.
A lot of them say 60 degrees, but I've seen houses in the wintertime painted, houses that I have for sale, at 30, 35 degrees and they're out painting, but that takes a special paint. You'll have to see
Yeah.
what you,
So we
The
probably
paint
want to do it within the next couple of weeks
Yeah.
to
I'd
get
say
it
so.
in for this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree. All right. Budget. We pretty much talked about all of it. But I guess a quick recap to date, we've spent $469.48, $352.44, or sorry, of that was spent on the farmer's market, which is $352.44. So we still have $5,733.52 remaining for our annual budget. So we're
Mark,
pretty good.
let me add to that.
Sure.
Expense item 59,320 is tourism promotion, workshops, ads, and our maps should be included in that line too. So our maps that we put out every year, which we need to spend $1,000, will be in the spring, this coming spring. So of the $1,250 on that line item, $1,000 of that is for our maps, okay? And then we have the two other expenses, $100 and then $150. Those have been for Last Green Valley, $150, and then the $100 goes to the Connecticut. The Connecticut Trust is already in one item. There's another $100 for I can't remember what the other one was, but that's what the $1,250 is for. Okay.
Okay. Yep. So I guess it's worth noting, and actually I just kind of thought of this, and I need to say it out loud to make sure that my thought process is correct. But so we just voted to approve giving Eagle Eye the go-ahead. So that's going to be a $1,500 expense. Now, the original plan was to use the $1,250 that Jack, you just mentioned, the grant money that we were going to contribute to be matched was going to come out of that. So if
So what I'm saying, Mark, is we take the $2,000, $1,500 from unspent money on the farmer's market.
correct, yes, so that's fine. But now I'm thinking, and I just need to say it out loud so so that I know my thought process isn't wrong. But since we're giving Ryan the go ahead before we get the grant, if we then had to turn around and contribute, it came out to like $800 something towards the grant. Are we actually getting? We'll get the money back, but in the short term, are we actually getting docked twice? Do you guys know what I mean? We'll end up getting it back twofold, but if for like a brief period, we'll actually be spending more.
You mean in terms of the tourism promotion?
Just in general. So we're going to pay Ryan $1,500 right now.
But how much from our budget is coming for the match?
800 something.
Okay. So we're going through this with all the other grants and stuff that are going on right now, because a lot of them are reimbursable grants too.
Yeah.
Or grants that haven't actually come in yet. And Julie has figured out how to do it, but it doesn't actually come out of our budget because it would be grant money. So it depends on, because we're only committed, what'd you say? We're only committed $800.
Yeah, 800 and change.
Yeah. So
But do you get what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying, and that's a question maybe for Julie
Okay.
on how we would do that without
Because
looking like we're spending it more.
if we waited until hopefully we got approved by the grant, it would only end up being an $800 expense for us versus a $2,300 expense.
Right.
So okay.
Or can the 800 be what we're spending towards it? And then
It could be, but then again, we're contributing too much.
or we just get like reimbursed for it. I don't know. There's a way to do it. We just gotta figure out how to do it.
This is why I'm not an accountant.
I know, and this is why we have Julie.
Yep. All right.
So
So
you're
we're
going
still
to tell the guy that you're going to take his money and put it into some fund, which is going to double, and then we'll pay you when it gets back. I would like some
literally
also.
It sounds like an argument we used to have with the Board of Education budget
Yeah.
with grants. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is why I know, because it's the Board of Ed grants that are the similar ways. So that's why I just had this conversation with them. So and Julie's been talking to the auditor, trying to figure out how to do it all too, because there's grants all over the place right now with the COVID, and a lot of them are set up weird. And
but what happens is that all those grant monies will just be paid into the general fund.
well, yeah, it's weird because you don't want to, like one of the grants that the schools are working on, they're reimbursable grants, but it's coming out of like their budget money right now, but it's not really because it's grant money, but it's coming out of their budget. So it's just a matter of putting it in the right line, and it all balances out at the end. It's just how to do it for the accounting and the audit.
You have to get the buckets lined up.
Yes.
Stacy. What money goes in what bucket? And then you'll be
Yes.
all.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And that's
That's all it is just
like a
moving
bad
money
math
around.
problem.
Yeah, I know, my head hurts just thinking about it. Okay, but we are gonna move forward with Ryan. So,
Yeah, there's a way to,
okay. We'll figure that out. All right, so that's good with the budget. Any old business? I don't believe we have any. Any new business? All right.
Tracy, you mentioned that there is going to be some properties that the town going to put up for sale.
yeah, I don't know when we're gonna get to that though.
Okay.
It's one of our things that we have on our to-do list is to put out old properties that the town owns that are just sitting there.
Are
To
any,
put them out.
are any of those properties? I remember when I was selecting with you guys, there was several properties out towards Bailey Pond. Those are
Yeah,
probably some of those. Now, anything new that's in town that would be commercial type of properties?
I don't think anything's even big enough for commercial. I think they're all really, majority of them are really small pieces,
Yeah, okay.
but that's just for the ones I'm familiar with.
Okay. All right. Any suggestions for next meeting?
Well, I'm going to get back to you as soon as I talk to the to my people in ECAR about that parks new projects grant. So that's
Okay.
something.
Yeah, yep, that would be good. And then let me make sure I'm not missing anything. We talked about doing, we've talked about it a couple of times, doing for the business directory, instead of doing the directory, doing the, what did we say? It was going to be kind of like a rack card.
Yes, we have money in for that budget too, Mark. Yeah, that's right. It
Yes,
should be
yeah,
good.
so we have $628.
Yeah.
So I guess we can start revisiting that now that we're done with the farmer's market.
Was that gonna be like one with a scan on it? I can remember how we were doing a rat card.
Oh, no, so it wasn't a scan, it was gonna be a link to our voluntown.biz. Not necessarily a link, but it's going to have our web address on it. That will then direct, because we have the business directory on voluntown.biz. So it's just going to direct people to voluntown.biz. So I think that was the plan. And
You want
now
me
that
to
I think
work-
about it, maybe not so much of a rack card, but what if we did like a refrigerator magnet or something like that? But we can talk about that.
That would be good because then if people are looking for something, they could just see
Yeah,
it on their fridge and be like, oh yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So, all right. We'll talk about that next meeting. Any other suggestions? All right.
So let me just say, Mark, that
Yep.
Typically our meeting in December falls right in the Christmas holiday season.
Okay.
So when we have our next meeting in November, that's going to be it for this year typically.
Okay.
No, even though we say we're going to meet in December, nobody wants to meet then. I'll just throw that out. I don't know.
There used to
Yeah.
always be the Christmas concert, but I don't think we're gonna have that this
Yeah.
year.
Well,
That's
I
right,
am
Dave.
looking at the calendar. I'm fine if we do want to skip December, but it would be December 17th. So it's still a bit of a ways before Christmas, but again, I'm
Yeah,
fine.
it was always like the school Christmas concert. I think that's why we always
Okay.
canceled it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, we can vote on that next meeting. But we're all good for November 19th will be our next meeting. So, oh my, it's scary to think that next meeting will be a couple of days away from Thanksgiving.
And
We'll be a week away from Thanksgiving. Or yeah, two weeks away. I don't know. All right, so
Said
that's
Thanksgiving and I woke up.
what's that?
You said Thanksgiving and my eyes went big again, right?
Yeah.
I thought you were planning something at your house, and I was like, "Where's the meal?" Right? I'm trying to.
You're always looking for the home cooked meal.
Mhm.
All right. Well, that's it. So, oh,
what?
Oh, I move to close.
oh,
All right, I'll second.
all right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion approved or motion passes. And all right. So meeting is adjourned at 8:05.